Yo, the enemy's public, I gotta keep my eyes open. Pay attention, stop walking around like you blindfolded. This not the World Cup, but Nasir be kicking knowledge. This is the type of information you can never learn in college. It's time to fight back, it's no more trying to play it cool. We got interviews, podcasts, and got the latest news. So sit back and relax, we about to get it started. Earth is the canvas, and guess who's the con artist? They brainwashing us, the system corrupted. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. I said you are now rocking with the enemy's public. Hey.
Peace. This is the enemy's public. I am Bro.Nasir. Welcome to the stream. This evening, I want to speak about this rancher, this brother who's a rancher in Colorado. He bought a farm and some people, some Caucasian people who have the Christopher Columbus syndrome decided that they discovered the farm and it was theirs. Yet the brother and his family is the one who purchased the land. They faced or still facing stalking, intimidation, racism, to the point that people were parking their vehicles, blocking the driveway, coming on the property, inside the fence area, taking pictures, videos, and actually, doing what can get people killed for being on somebody's property like that. Colorado, from my understanding, is a stand your ground state. And these people don't even care, to the point that the police are involved in the intimidation, and they're enabling the stalking and the racism. Now, this brother and his family should be supported and protected. I understand that some of their crops were ruined and some of their animals were poisoned as a result of the intimidation and the stalking. Some people don't care. They'll push you to the point that you do harm to them. I don't have that type of patience. I don't. That somebody could just try me like that, being on my property, having the audacity to come inside the fence and pull out their phone and record my property. That was my property. He would probably be recording live. I would hope it would be live. He'll probably be recording his demise. He'll have that camera pointing at my property and probably get hit center mass while recording live, especially after I reported it to the police. Now, I would absolutely lose my mind if my wife called me and told me somebody was following her. I'll lose my mind on that person. It'll be a situation. And that I don't care what state we're in. I don't care what state I'm in now. If you're prowling around my house and I catch you, somebody's going to come and scoop you up off the property because we don't bother anybody. And all those people on the farm is doing, from my understanding, they're growing crops, they are tilling their land, and they are actually feeding the community. Yet, some people have this attitude and this sentiment that we're not supposed to have anything. And it's a threat to some people to see our people with a whole lot of land, cattle, growing crops, giving it to the people in the community. Some people have a problem with that. Salute to my brother, King Genocide. Salute to Roger W. Thanks for coming through. Some people actually have a problem with us having anything. And they'll go to the point of trying to drive the family off the farm. And, giving up should not be an option. Moving off the property should not be an option. Now I'm going to play some video footage of the family's testimony about what was happening to them.
See me outside, I'm being harassed. Like if I'm by myself with kids, and I would be chased and followed. And for a person to try to value that based upon your race, it's bad. It's trauma.
This Colorado rancher has experienced overwhelming amounts of racism for more than 2 years.
My full name is Courtney Wayne Mallory. I go by CW. I'm a farmer/rancher out in East Colorado.
CW Mallory and his family have been farming in East Colorado since August 2020. They moved after a hurricane destroyed the Houston ranch that CW was working on.
Looked around in different states, across the whole state, kind of settled here in Colorado. Like I say, it chose me. I really didn't choose it. But I mean, it was something that pulled me to it. It was just freedom. It was Freedom Acres Ranch. That's kind of where we started.
However, instead of being able to live and work in peace, Mallory's family has endured frequent aggressive threats from the community.
Well, the harassment initially began when I first procured the property. I was approached by an individual that stated that the property was theirs. And I had to tell them that, no, I was the new owner here, that this is my property. They then proceeded to tell me that they shoot dogs and whatnot. And I was like, well, I'm the new owner here. I own dogs. Don't shoot my dogs. That was the initial start of it from there. And people, hanging around hanging around the fence line on the property, taking and cutting my fence line and stuff like that, stealing water, throwing the trash, theft of utilities pretty much, and dumping. My property became a dump ground.
In fact, we still be strong and we go out and we contribute to the community. We feed them. We go out and we do the things that people wouldn't do for us, and we still get criticized for it. You know, even some of the people we help are like turning their backs, and it's, like I said, it's trauma.
According to CW, the following and harassment hasn't stopped, despite the public attention Mallory's story has drawn.
The support has gotten better. The support has been amazing. The more get, the harder they are stalking, fighting, terrorizing, being hateful, and being racist to try to get us to a point, I guess, we're all alone again so they can continue to terrorize us. I mean, we've had maybe 50 people here within the last few weeks, and each one of them is so unfortunate, but we are so thankful that they're still come. But each one of them had an experience with being stalked and terrorized by someone in the community.
This is just a part of the Mallory story. Check out episode 2 to see what happened when they turned to the police for help.
It's like we're in a war zone.
You can't rely on people in authority to protect and serve, us and be fair with us.
To be hunted, not only from locals who can't understand that Black people can own land, but from sheriff's department, I think is the most hurtful, especially as someone who took an oath.
Now, that is very cliche for my brother and my sister to say, because I don't know where they're from, but they should take in consideration that these type of things happened to other members of our people. I don't understand why they don't think it could happen to them. See, I always say, when it comes to owning this much land, the first thing that you have to do is protect your land. See, myself, I would find a Black-owned security firm and have that Black-owned security firm just patrol my land, armed. Just patrol my land. That would be their job. Just drive around my land. You see anything, you handle it accordingly. But the brother and sister is talking about the oath that the police took. They didn't take an oath to serve us. We need to get that through our heads. It's not about them serving us. When you go to areas like this, you should expect it and you should prepare yourself for it because it's coming. I don't know what was on their mind thinking that they can go there and this wasn't going to happen. Yet they should have prepared themselves for it to deal with it as it comes.
Facing frequent threats and racism from the local community, the Mallorys sought help from the local police. However, their situation only got worse.
They come, it's just repeated. Can't protect our property. Someone jumped the fence and they were at the front door and I was naked and I did what I'm trained to do to protect myself and the land.
Okay, I understand that. But if someone's on your property at your door after they made threats, that person should have been made an example of. The only thing I say do is make sure it's inside the fence and leave the body there. They can't do anything to you for protecting your property. The sister was arrested, as you're going to hear, for just firing a shot in the air. That's against the law, but it's not against the law to shoot an intruder. You shouldn't have fired in the air.
And ultimately, this person was let go because they were white, and I was ultimately charged simply for protecting myself when someone had blocked us in the driveway, falsely imprisoned me. I was naked. They recorded me.
They just failed me, you know what I mean? And just continued to fail me, you know what I mean? Like I was saying, like my life doesn't matter. Like what I'm saying to you doesn't matter.
Per the Denver Post, local law enforcement has reportedly received more than 170 calls related to the Mallorys over the past 2 years. CW and his family claim these calls are rooted in racism. As of April 2023, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office has not arrested anyone for the harassment the Mallorys have experienced. On February...
The Mallorys should have taken it federal. That's how they should have handled it. It should not have dealt with the local police. The local police, they knew that you were purchasing the land as per the city government. They knew they was purchasing the land, and the people talk. They know it's your land, and they're in cahoots with these racist ass people. That's your neighbors. So they shouldn't deal with the local police. This is the state police and the sheriff's department that's in cahoots with the racist crackers. The family should deal with the FBI, the feds, get them involved if they're going to take that route. But how I would get them off my property, I'll make them dance, dodging bullets.
February 6th, CW was arrested and detained for 2 days.
It was Monday morning, just feeding the animals.
Peace to the brother,
doing stuff on the ranch, getting materials, and I don't know, they just said that they were taking him. He had a warrant for his arrest for felony stalking, is what they said, and there was a $2,000 bond.
Are you guys going to be holding him and making sure he's okay?
Yes, ma'am. So I'm sure. Stay control. That's my contact info.
Okay.
See, these racist bastards will charge the brother with stalking when he's the one being stalked. His wife was followed. And these people were on their property trying to intimidate them, yet the brother gets arrested.
It'll be processed.
Okay.
There is a bond on the warrant.
What's the bond?
Bond out. I believe it's $2,000.
They allege that CW was a threat to the community.
A man who has a farm and share his crops, share his harvest with the community is a threat to the community. He's a threat to the community because he owned the property.
Gentlemen that fed the community, that just worked with animals and farmed while black, had nothing more than a speeding ticket. They allege that he was a threat to the community, and so they increased the bond amount to $6,000.
Let your followers know how you're doing right now.
I'm not well.
Okay.
This is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
This is part of the hate crimes and the false accusations that officer makes.
I thought my life was gonna end, you know what I mean, through some mysterious, some weird circumstances, you know, because they threatened to hang, lynch me, block me in here, set me on fire.
During a press conference held by the El Paso County Sheriff's Office on February 14th, Sheriff Joseph Roybal confirmed that stalking was one of 3 charges listed on CW's warrant and called the previous online reports misinformation and mischaracterization.
I recognize we are human and we can always strive to do better. To that point, approximately a week ago, I directed my staff to review all reports taken and ensure we have done everything we should have during our response to these calls. This review found 2 events where we as an office could have done more during our investigation.
CW is calling for an official investigation into the link between hate crimes and the sheriff's office. He believes investigating the department would help combat the harassment.
The department should be investigated, but they cannot count on any local agency to do their job. They need to go outside the locality of where the crime is being taken place and go to, because I understand it was the state police who arrested him. So they need to go over their head. And I propose that we should have some boots on the ground on that property. We should take a whole bunch of us and go to that property and just show some solidarity and camaraderie with and to that family, and let those people know that it's some people who are a phone call away that will deal with this foolishness if it continues.
I feel like if this is America and I pay taxes and I am funded.
See, this is the naive sentiment of my brother and my sister who own the farm. These people don't care nothing about you paying taxes. If you would have went and paid for the whole entire piece of land, full, one purchase, they don't give a damn about you paying no taxes and buying no land. In their sentiment, you're not supposed to have that.
Funding these police departments, funding these roads and things like that, I should be able to live anywhere in the United States or anywhere.
You should be, but that's not a reality until we make it a reality. By if somebody come on our property with the foolishness, we're going to do whatever it takes to protect our property and our people. Now, it's white people who are shooting. They're shooting Uber drivers. They're shooting Uber Eats. They're shooting little young people who are looking for their siblings and going to the wrong house. Brothers are being shot. Sisters are being shot by going to addresses by mistake. And these people are doing this blatantly. That's the problem I have with some of our people. That's the problem I have with some of our people.
In the world.
The whole point of Freedom Acres Ranch was to teach the next generation of farming, but also for our family to see. We all come from an inner city, so we've never seen this amount of acreage, much less owned by young Black people. And so having this, when representation matters, it's important to every Black and brown boy and girl in this United States that's watching, because now we're on social media and they are watching. And so they're watching what we do, and we have to set an example. And the example is it's not to run.
Giving up is not an option. Giving up is not an option.
New tonight at 6, 2 Black ranchers in rural El Paso County say their cries for help and allegations of racism have been largely ignored by the sheriff's office for years.
And you've likely heard some of the Mallory story, which has been shared thousands of times on social media now. Those viral posts have led to national scrutiny over how the El Paso County Sheriff's Office has handled more than 2 years of disputes between the couple and their neighbors. Now they're speaking exclusively to Denver 7 on camera together for the first time.
And Denver 7's Micah Smith has tonight's exclusive that now has...
Can you imagine this, going through all that for over 2 years. I don't have that kind of patience.
El Paso County deputies defending their actions.
Farming while black in America. Farming while black in America.
The voice you hear is Nicole Mallory's, and the person being arrested is her husband, Courtney C.W. Mallory. The Mallorys are black ranchers in rural El Paso County and say this moment is the culmination of years of blatant racism by community members and the El Paso County Sheriff's Office's failure to respond.
A lot of their pets have been poisoned and killed. Some of their livestock has been poisoned and killed.
Dr. Vern L. Howard is teaming up with Portia Prescott and Rashad Younger from the NAACP to help the Mallorys.
Basically, the Mallorys have been harassed on their property and on their land.
At that point, it became very clear that they weren't necessarily safe.
Animals poisoned and killed, a couple feeling harassed and terrorized. Huge claims that we'll break down. But first, how do we go from the Mallorys being seen as victims to the ones in handcuffs? The El Paso County Sheriff's Office investigated and decided it was the Mallorys who were felony stalking their neighbor. We got our hands on the arrest affidavit. It focuses on multiple complaints from the Mallorys' next-door neighbor. It's clear there's years of animosity on both sides of this easement road, and it's this road that has been center stage for many of their interactions, like CW and Nicole walking between the properties with their hands up, yelling, "Hands up, don't shoot." The affidavit mentioned a 19-page log that the neighbor maintained with supporting video and photos of each interaction she considered to be stalking. But when it came time for the investigation, it wasn't her cameras pointed at them, but the Mallorys' cameras pointed toward her property that deputies confiscated. With the affidavit in hand, we went to the Mallorys' ranch. It was a windy day, so we met inside our news car. After talking for nearly an hour, the Mallorys finally agreed to do their first sit-down interview with me.
You removed the only support that I have and the only other eyes I have to try to catch what's going on around me.
CW said the sheriff's office is using video caught on the neighbor's security.
That's crazy. Took their camera down so they can't have evidence of being stalked and harassed, but they'll leave the other people camera up to get evidence on them, to fabricate evidence on them. Again, I don't have that kind of patience.
Cameras against him, but his cameras were removed. I asked him why he'd walk by the neighbor's home with hands in the air.
Our cows were loose, so we went down there, got our cows, and we pushed them back the way they came out. And as I said, we need to put our hands up and say, please don't shoot us. We're just getting our
big
cows.
Facts, Roger W. Big facts, bro.
Let's be clear. I just want to revisit that. Me putting my hands up, us putting our hands up, and it's a safety. As an African American,
It's been said a lot that this is a land dispute between neighbors. That's what it boils down to. And that you all or your neighbor could choose to avoid each other because you have so much land. What is your response to that?
Let me be clear about something. I do not have a neighbor dispute. My dispute is with El Paso County Sheriff's Department for enabling this behavior.
Nicole says one deputy in particular, who she's filed multiple complaints against, is leading the charge.
In what I believe is a modern day KKK assault against my family.
That's not a small accusation to make. But Nicole says Facebook comments and a community page turned to blatant racism after the sheriff's office got involved. Comments like, "I was amazed at how much property was tagged Black Lives Matter. Didn't expect that kind of in-your-face crap way out here. Let's all go have car issues on that road. And are there any restrictions on size of pitchforks and fire sticks in Colorado?" From there.
Now, listen to what these devils were saying. It's going to have car trouble on their land to block their roads on their property. That's a lot of audacity to have. and they would actually do this, I'm going to keep saying it. I don't have that kind of patience. Somebody would have lost their life by now.
Nicole says it turned to physical attacks.
Animals being gutted, our lives being threatened, people being sent to our home under threat of lynching, hanging, pitchforks, fire. We had a chicken coop set ablaze.
I asked the Mallorys what the sheriff's office did in response.
Nothing.
See, they can't get this on video footage because their cameras were taken down. They had cameras, yet the police confiscated their cameras, their surveillance cameras.
Nothing. Actually, I think maybe what happened was they were trying to figure out how to charge us with a crime.
Since the time of Mr. Mallory's arrest, my office has received numerous emails and calls with people voicing concern with how we have handled the Mallory situation.
On Tuesday afternoon, Sheriff Joseph Roybal finally answered questions about the case that's gone viral on social media and shared body camera video painting the Mallorys as combative and unwilling to cooperate in unrelated investigations. But the sheriff's office provided few details about the Mallorys' current claims of harassment and racial discrimination. The one concrete update was the decision by the sheriff to review 24 prior cases. In the end, they reopened 2, one of which involves the Mallorys as the victims. And the sheriff said he more than anyone wants to ensure there is no racist behavior inside his department.
No one would be more eager than I to rid my office of a deputy sheriff who was racist and treating members of the community unfairly.
We started asking the El Paso County Sheriff's Office for records, reports, and interviews 5 days ago. We were denied and given a bill.
Of course you were denied, because the one who's standing at the rostrum is the chief racist. And he looks like what we'll call a brown man. So there goes the Black and Brown Alliance up in fucking flames.
For thousands of dollars. There are many more allegations addressed by the sheriff Tuesday, including a conspiracy about a murdered ranch hand and the arrest of Nicole Mallory nearly 2 years ago when she fired a shot at a process server who had entered her private property without notice. I promise to follow up in more detail tomorrow on Denver 7.
And the El Paso County Sheriff's Office has now decided to release more than 120 pages of records pertaining to cases involving the Mallorys. Unfortunately, that release happened right before this newscast began. So Micah is now combing through those new records, and she will bring you an in-depth update tomorrow on Denver 7.
And this story is so important because the number of Black farmers across America has declined greatly over the past century. Let's break down the numbers for you. Researchers at UMass Boston looked at data from the USDA Census of Agriculture. They found that Black farmers lost $326 billion worth of acreage in the 20th century. Currently, Black farmers own less than 1% of all farmland. Colorado.
Because our land was stolen from us. And they are so upset calling us Indian givers. That's what the term Indian givers come from. We want our land back. You're damn right we're Indian givers.
Colorado was home to a historically Black farming settlement in the early 1900s. Deerfield in Weld County is now a ghost town, but it was once a place to end the cycle of poverty.
They knew that if they could own their own land, own their own homes, they could use that to pass on to their children. They could sell it.
Exactly.
They could borrow against it.
Discriminatory lending policies and forced sales are said to be major factors in the loss of land.
Crazy. Outright insane. Our people, we need to stop being so inclusive. And what's crazy about that, we need to value our family in our lives more, to the point that we protect it how we should protect it. Because again, some of our people get shot by going to their property by mistake. And they're blatantly doing this foolishness, stalking, intimidation. Of course, it's racism. Now, that sheriff officer, or he's probably the sheriff, is just making a mockery of the entire situation by saying that he wants to make sure that there's no racism going on in his department with his officer in his office. That's making mockery of the situation, going up there saying that, knowing that's what's going on, and denying people the paperwork. And all that paperwork is probably a whole lot of redacted pieces of paperwork, stuff blacked out, so we can't get the real information and evidence against these people. We need to keep talking about this. And we need to organize our people to have boots on the ground, drop squads to go and handle things like this. To go and show some solidarity and protect our people. Because that's what it's coming to. I'm for certain this family's not bothering nobody. I don't even know them. All they did was buy some land, till the land, and grow crops according to the community. A lot of people came out on their behalf. But these people who want the land is trying to intimidate them because they're on some Christopher Columbus thing. Because the land was purchased by them, they go around discovering stuff and claiming stuff that's not theirs. I'm going to make sure, because when the good brother Big Dog Philly OG first showed me these videos, it angered me, because this is something that I always felt that our people should be doing. We should be buying land and growing our own crops, farming our own land. That's what we should be doing as a people. And when we see brothers and sisters doing this, we can't sit idly by and let them be victims like that. And the brother and sister need to sort of wake up to the fact that the police are not there to serve them. They protect other people's property. But it's an unwritten law that they don't have to protect us. We know police or policy enforcers, and they serve to protect people, certain people and property. But when it comes to us, that's not the issue, because we're not supposed to have property, which is the reason why they robbed us and they stole from us. And now the fact that we want our land back, they can't deal with it. Even if they feel we don't deserve what we have, even if we work hard for it. Because if we see a brother or sister driving a nice car, we're not supposed to have that. So that's why a lot of us get harassed. If we're driving a nice car, if we have a nice home, we buy a farm, we're not supposed to have that. Peace to DJ ZPE. We're not supposed to have that. Salute to Rob Warren. That's an unwritten law that we're not supposed to have any of these things. I agree with you, Rob Warren. We're supposed to take our land back. We are supposed to take it back. I strongly agree with that. Yet those of us who have land, it's a threat to our open and consistent enemy. It's a threat because when they see us with land, they automatically think what we're thinking. When we buy land, that's automatically generational wealth. Salute to the brother, the realist McCoy. That's generational wealth when you own land. You always have something to eat when you own land because you can grow carrots, you can grow peppers, you can grow tomatoes, you can grow anything you need on that land. And you can also provide for the community. Those brothers and sisters have a lot of land and they can provide for everybody around the immediate area. And they can also, once they get it started, because they just purchased the land, 2020, they can actually provide, crops for supermarkets. Let's say if a brother or sister own a supermarket and they want celery, lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, kale, mustard greens, collard greens, it could come from the brother and sister's farm. See, when we begin to do things like that, it's a threat to certain people. They don't want to see us. Why? Because it's the end of us going into their death markets, purchasing their foolishness. They actually burnt down sheds. They actually gutted animals, those people's animals, threatened to shoot their dogs, cut fences down so the cattle can escape. And the sister said, and the brother said that when they went to herd their cattle back to where they belong, they had to walk with their hands up saying, hands up, don't shoot, on their own property. To me, that is foolishness. That's foolishness. Because I don't know how big the family is, but they should call the cavalry. That's what they should do. Call the cavalry. Or make yourself and align yourself with certain organizations that's our people that are capable to deal with that. But don't sit idly by and talk about because you pay your taxes and you pay the salary of the police, your expectations is non and void in the eyesight of the local authorities and the state authorities. They don't give a damn about how you're feeling and the taxes that you pay. They don't care about that. So for our brother and our sister to say that to me, it's just stupid. It makes no sense. A waste of breath. Yet when they come on your property, what you should do is just tell the sheriff deputy, the next cop you can come in contact to, say, look, man, the next one of them I see on my property, they're finished. It's my property. I want you. I want them. Not going to keep talking to y'all about not coming on my property. I catch you on my property, I'm going to stand my ground like everybody else in this stand your ground state. My problem with our people, some of them, is we buy these firearms and we only use them on each other. Why do we have so much restraint when it comes to others? Yet if it was one of us, somebody probably would have got shot by now. I don't advocate doing nothing to anybody. I don't advocate being the aggressor. But when somebody is blatantly threatening your family, you're not supposed to tolerate that at all. You're supposed to deal with that as soon as it happens. They'll know as soon as they even attempt, the first threat would have been eliminated. Which is the reason why I can't live in certain areas, because I would not tolerate their foolishness. Would not. Would not. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Anybody want to come up? You can come up, chop it up a little bit. And in the next 5 minutes, if nobody come up, then I'm going to end the stream. Yet, anybody want to come up? You could come up. Salute to my brother, Bronze Flat Power God. Peace to you, good brother. But these type of things anger me to my core, because I never liked bullies. Never liked bullies. I was always that type, would be like, do that to me. That's how I was, always. Do that to me. Let me see you do that to me. And for us, intimidation, nah. I don't have patience for that. You're absolutely correct, brother. Robborn. The law is designed to protect them, not us. That's why when people talk about how the system is rigged and all the other foolishness, I disagree with that rigged, system. The system is not rigged. The system is working according to how it was designed. So it's not rigged. But we need to stop having these high expectations when it comes to our enemy, and realize that it is our enemy. A friend don't do that to you. It's an enemy who does that to you. What I'm trying to do now, while I wait for somebody to come up, I'm going to play a few songs. Nobody come up. I'm going to end the stream. And I'm going to share my sentiment with my people today on how I feel about these racist bastards. And my sentiment is this.
Fuck Steve Harvey, fuck Paula D, fuck Charles Barkley, fuck the mainstream. How the fuck you saying sorry to the white bitch team, but the great and don't apologize to these black queens? Fuck Iggy Azalea, fuck rap magazines, fuck white folk money, fuck Jimmy Iovine. Niggas got diabetes, fuck cake, fuck cream, fuck the edited version, fuck keeping shit clean. Fuck Dan Wilson and fuck how that sound. That fuck didn't give a fuck about Mike Brown. Fuck Brad Jones, fuck Sun Downtown, fuck feeling sympathetic when a cop shot down. Fuck concentrated poverty, apartheid scores, fuck CNN, fuck corporate news, fuck Diamond and fuck cracker ass guns, fuck abusing white people, fuck elephants in the room. Giuliani, Bill O'Reilly, Fox News, Truth Detective, Chris Christie, Sarah Palin, Michelle Bradley, Rush Limbaugh.
Do a mic check, please.
Mic check, mic check.
Loud and clear, family. Fuck on. Yeah, brother.
What's good, brother?
You can tap in, brother.
I mean, you already said everything that needs to be said. I just came to drop some of our indigenous royalty on everybody. The emperor, Emperor Faustine of Haiti, and his daughters and sons, including. This shit is deep, y'all. It's like we have Her Imperial Majesty Adelina, Empress of Haiti, Her Imperial Highness Olive Faustine, Princess Imperial, daughter of the Emperor of Haiti, His Imperial Majesty Jean-Joseph, Duke of Port-de-Paix, or the Port of Peace.
Okay.
The Emperor's brother, and His Majesty Faustine I, Emperor of Haiti. These are, this is in the Schomburg Library of Black Culture, and it's just essential. I dropped it in the public chat for everybody. Also, I dropped an article of one of the descendants, George Washington, who founded the state of Washington.
Washington State on the West Coast.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That document's straight from the Washington State Secretary of State website.
I'm gonna go, and when I do the playback, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna obtain all the information that you put in the chat and study it.
Yes, sir. Please do.
And I appreciate that, brother.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. I tried to bring this out about a year ago, and nobody was ready to hear it because everybody was still in their anti-Moore mode. So they didn't want to hear about any of this shit because it's like the hate is real. And when you think things aren't what they are, then you hate what you are because somebody told you you're something else.
Fact. Indeed.
But I found these people doing my genealogy, so I know it's legit. I had to search heaven and earth to find the origin of the Washingtons, of the Savoy House.
Okay. I mean, that's good information, brother. That's good teaching, and I would like to set up something for you. You can just do this spill like for a whole stream.
I'm so busy right now with the planning season, Brody.
Understood, brother. You guys,
you know what I mean? I don't need no credit, no clout, nothing. I just need these ancestors to be resurrected from their watery grave. I don't give a shit who the face is, as long as it's truth coming from the lips.
Indeed. That's what we need, brother. That's what we search for. The truth.
Yes, sir.
That's what we're looking for. That's what we're after.
That's what I was born for.
Exactly. And we don't want, speaking on this, this rancher and this farmer, brother, lot of it is because of our inclusiveness and our expectations of certain people.
Facts. And
You know,
without clear communication or
exactly,
demands of what we expect, we just assume
exactly,
they move with love like we do, and they don't.
exactly, and that's
They're
why
orphans. They don't know where
exactly,
they came from. They need
exactly.
us to remind them of who the fuck they are, because we're the
Indeed.
kings and the queens that they regicided as the vanguard of the church, or the Aquarian and Equestrian orders of the Holy Sepulchre.
Exactly.
Sepulchre meaning sangreal, or blood of the royals.
Exactly. Welcome to my brother Victor Filio G. Do a mic check, good brother. Brother getting his mic together.
Yeah, you know I was, brother. Much love and respect to you and the family. Grand Rising. Much love and respect to DJ and everybody in the chat. I'm here, brother.
Honor and respect to you, brother. You know, when you first, showed this video to me, brother, I was like, yeah, we gotta keep talking about this. We just can't let this go, brother. Because, it could happen to any one of us if we allow it to happen to this family.
Facts. Was that Anne something? What's her name? That wrote the poem about when the Nazis came. Oh, I'm forgetting exactly right now. Like, first they came for the sick, and I said nothing. Then they came for I'm forgetting the quote and something.
I know you're talking about. I forget.
I'm only operating on like 3 hours of sleep today. So.
Oh. Well, brother, every time you come through, it's like you can do that on 3 hours. Just imagine if you have full rest.
I know. That's why I don't be on YouTube a lot, and I don't have my own channel, because I'm not trying to like degrade people, and I'm not trying to play into the hate and the confusion. I know what the fuck time it is.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give people their jewels where they need them, so they can like build their spine back.
Yeah. Yes. Some have jellyfish spines, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was listening to the brother talk, I'm with the brother, but I don't like him putting expectations on this enemy of ours, because these people are not your friend. They're not going to come, and I say it like this: you cannot go to their brother and expect their brother to do something about their behavior. That's their brother. They're going to side with their brother.
See, we're expecting them to keep their family in line the way we keep ours in check.
Exactly.
We do not behave in the same way. That is not their culture.
Exactly.
Their culture is to let their brother run amok until they have to put him in his place.
Exactly.
Till he's out of control, and then they have to get him under control. It's a different mentality. It's chaos theory versus order.
Yep. And in their sentiment and the way they run things is order through chaos.
Precisely.
Yep. That's how they do things.
Novus ordo seclorum.
Novus ordo seclorum.
Yep.
That's actually what this nation was, so-called nation was based off. The brother sent me a video earlier that have to be shared. That lady was dropping. I wanted to do it tonight, but I wanted to do this. I'll probably do it tomorrow. But what that lady was saying on that video that OG sent me earlier was like, wow.
Mm-hmm. They say it in the church, man. In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Yes.
Seclorum. What is it? Seclorum de seculare est. To segregate the secular. The sepulcher. Get it?
Yes.
Secular, sepulcher, the equestrian and Aquarian order of the Holy Sepulchre.
Jordan Maxwell used to talk about this way back in the early 90s. Everything that's going on now, Jordan Maxwell was talking about that way back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the early 90s, Jordan Maxwell was talking about it. Old little mild-mannered white man just was trying to give us all this, what's going on.
Yep.
He was talking about how evil these people are.
See, some of these folks are part of the old America. And then we have all of these odd fellow new American orphans brought up in to fucking sow chaos and destruction.
You know,
we even had our own light-skinned Aboriginal communities.
Yes.
So, you know,
and this is not a government. It's not a nation.
It's the order of the holy fucking sea.
It's
SEE, like See's candy.
Exactly. It's a corporation.
Mm-hmm. Colonial Corporation, the British East and West Indies Trading Company, the Dutch East and West Indies Trading Company. Same motherfucking beast, four heads, the four pillars of slavery or pan-Slavism, which invented Pan-Asianism, Pan-Africanism, Pan-Americanism, aka Pan-Slavism, aka Panislavismus, the destruction of the Slav and the Hun, or the Ugri. The Hara and the Ugri.
It's a good spill, brother.
You know? It's like the Pearl of Jakarta was Ramnaga. The Bodhisattva, Ramnaga. Not Romani, but Ramnaga. There was no Rome.
Okay.
Like, what do you do when you roam? You wander, right?
That's yeah. When you're roaming, you're wondering. You're actually when you're roaming. You're wandering aimlessly.
Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his head was his home. And when he died, all he left us was alone.
He left us alone. That's all he
Talking
left us.
about the days of Peleg or Pele or Pelagianism before the Council of Hippo, aka St. Augustine of Hippo, and the Council of Nicaea, now called Nicaea, which was the division of the Latin language and the creation of the goddess of terror, Phrike, by Marsilio Ficino in 1613. Same year that the author of Jacobean Right wrote the play The Triumphs of Truth and first quoted "My dear white people," the first time such a thing was ever recorded. 1613. Friday the 13th, 1613.
Very interesting. See, a lot of what you're saying, you know, I have to study. And I appreciate it. See, what I would do is play this back and write this down.
Yes, sir.
That's what I would do. Play this back and write it down and study it.
I'm not a schoolboy. What I say, you gotta write it down and go look up the keywords, because eugenics, stemming from the family name Eugene of Aboriginal origins, from here means the right to rule.
Okay.
Also, the word Mugen derives from it, meaning limitless.
And you just triggered me with that eugenics, you know, and the from Eugene.
Yep, Eugene IC.
So, and you said Aboriginal eugenics.
Yep, Eugene I Nix.
So that's
eugenics. Eugene I Nix.
Boom. Okay.
Boom.
So that's
as
really,
in the Hyksos.
It's really, the eugenics is really to set out to destroy the Aboriginal.
Precisely.
Oh, okay, brother.
Not the Aboriginal, the Royals. It's
The Royals.
regicide.
Okay.
Maya or Mayak. Maya means illusion. Mayak means monarch. It also means cistern. Cistern, as in a basilica, as in a sister, as in the matrone or the three goddesses, now called the graven image after the Council of Nicaea or Hippo. Ironically, Nicaean Latin is still spoken in Africa. Nigeria. Niger.
Yeah, I know of somebody named Niger.
Yeah. It's not a river, it's a fucking family.
Yeah. Exactly.
See what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like this is all bloodlines, royals, monarchs, arcs. My arc. The arc of my line, of my life, the arc of your own event horizon, from you to the last ancestors, or the first. Because we looked at the world differently. The past unfolded in front of us. The future happened like the wake on our ships after we passed and left. But you would know that if you knew that you're an immortal being and that death is an illusion. That's what the church did. If you believe in death, then you fear it, and therefore you are dead.
And they do a lot of fear mongering when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fear mongering.
Why you think there's all this death and murder, kill everywhere, everything.
Yeah. And then they also tell you, to behave a certain way while you're here, or this is what happened after you die.
Mm-hmm. But what do they know about the root, the source of the cosmos? Did they invent them?
Yeah, we have to really be careful about when someone gives their interpretation.
Exactly.
And what's crazy about they're giving their interpretation of a lie.
Precisely.
It's crazy. And we fell for that crap hook, line, and sinker for a long damn time.
Well, that's what all this philology has been for. The whole purpose of the Romance era, aka Renaissance. Renaissance meaning reinvention. Romance meaning language.
Yes.
See, during the days of Pele or Pelagian, it's mentioned in your good book, which I know is complete rubbish, but in these days, Pelagianism was the original religion that believed in immortality, and that because you were immortal and from the source, you were born without sin, therefore not needing intervention from a church. Then came around the concept of Arianism, which stated that Christ was in fact a man and not a godly being. Hence the Second Council of Nicaea.
But they tell you you're evil for,
Well, yeah, but see, they turned our Emperor Faustine the First into Faust. It's called demonology, regicide, the destruction of the kings, of the Mayak, the monarchs, the mothers and the fathers. The motherland, the Vindo, referenced in their mythology as Wendell, mother of Grendel.
Totally taking the women.
There are no Celts, but there are Kaili.
Yes.
Kaili, and they eat the dead. Now, Pictis, as in Paleopicto, Pictis means painted. There are no Moors, but there are Mu-Urs from the kingdom of Ur, the Chaldeans, the Scythians and Chaldeans of Tyrion and Zamoria.
That's why I like when you give a spill, brother, because you go all the way to like the origin and the root of stuff, and that's what we need, brother.
Yes.
Because the branch knowledge is real. It's obvious. You can see the branches on a tree.
Mm-hmm.
See that? That's obvious. I
But
like the
deep roots are not reached
yeah,
by the frost.
exactly. I like the roots, brother. That's what I love. I love that.
You know?
I love it. I
So
appreciate
yeah, and Nicaea was Hippo. It was never Nicaea. Nicaea is Etruscan Latin.
Okay.
You know, the language of the Grimaldi man and Sangir man, the Rus and or Ross, the Rus, Glen Ross, Glen Morag. You know.
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir.
Also, you know, y'all should look into the pyramids in Scotland or in what our ancestors called Alba. You know, there's Prince Andrew's cairn. And it's not Andrew, it's Anjou, as in the Duke of Anjou.
Mm.
You know, it's not San Francisco, as in Saint Francis of Assisi. It's Saint Francis of Cibola, one of the 7 cities of gold.
See, all of these names have a origin. They have an origin, and it's good for us to be able to go to the origin of all these things. That way, when we got to deal with, verbally.
Yep. Then you have
your ammunition.
Cibola, Ebola, Cibola. In between, you have Igbo.
Repeat that.
Ebola, Cibola. In between, you have Igbo.
Exactly. Okay.
It's just transliterations, anagrams, as in the kingdom of Anion, or Alaska, or Athabasca. Anion is another word for Antioch. You know, as in the Battle of Antioch.
Do you get your information from actual books, brother?
I do. I don't get most of my information from online. I only use online to correlate shit that I find in books. And I happen to live in Marin County, so I live in one of the Masonic, or should I say, excuse me, because we're Masons. The Freemasonic, one of the Freemasonic capitals of the world, happens to be the home of the local Knights of Columbus chapter. So I have access to all kinds of books here in the library that nobody ever fucking looks at.
That's why I asked you, because it seems to me that you read actual books. I can tell by the way you speak, you read actual books.
I have over 3,000 books stored in my mental library lexicon.
Me, I would rather have the book. I have stuff on Kindle and other, but me, I like the physical book. That way you can go pick it up off a shelf and read it. I like physical.
And I personally prefer only first and second edition non-abridged versions. Because an abridgment is an addition of philological terminology that does not belong. See, it's to abridge something is to write yourself in.
Indeed.
You're making a bridge. You know, a bridge to Terra Betha or Betha. Another word for America.
The great whore that sit upon many waters.
Mm-hmm. To Ara Betha. To sanctuary beyond. Meaning those men from the oldest line who come from the land of the eagle and the constellation of the Pleiades to the west and to the far east, as in India superior and Asia superior. Home of the Mongol, the Hun, the Etruscan, the Grimaldi, all this shit comes out of America. See, what they did with their eugenics is they control the name of the plants and the animals And when they do that, they've written you out, because who brought all the plants and the animals?
Yeah, they quick to write you out and put themselves there.
See, educare is animal husbandry. Adieu is to educate, to draw out.
Exactly. Yep. It's to draw out. It's not to put in, it's to draw out.
See, a leader draws greatness from you.
Exactly.
He doesn't take from you, he gives.
Exactly.
That is precisely what made us who we are. We gave. We didn't take. We gave. True leaders give. They never take.
Big facts. Brother, I appreciate you coming up and contributing to this stream. I didn't want to go long. I just wanted to come up and give the information, and you just made it even more intricate and, with your information. And I thank my brother, Big Dog Philly OG. If you all want to tap in with it or close out, I'm going to end the stream right now. But we're going to continue to talk about these situations, among other things. On Thursday, on Big Dog Philly OG's channel, we're going to continue with the divorce in the system. This week, when we're going to deal with inclusiveness, the kumbaya-ism, and just to let people know that we have no allies, we are all we got.
Facts.
That's on Thursday.
You're welcome, brother.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank
Yeah,
you.
everybody have a good night. Grand Rising, DJ Zip. You already know my brother, Enemies Public, and everybody in the chat. Much love and respect to everybody. I had background noise. I was enjoying listening. Much love to everybody.
Much love to everybody. Bless up, cousins.
Peace, family.
Peace.
This is the Enemies Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section.
Yo, the enemy's public, I gotta keep my eyes open. Pay attention, stop walking around like you blindfolded. This not the World Cup, but Nasir be kicking knowledge. This is the type of information you can never learn in college. It's time to fight back, it's no more trying to play it cool. We got interviews, podcasts, and got the latest news. So sit back and relax, we about to get it started. Earth is the canvas, and guess who's the con artist? They brainwashing us, the system corrupted. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. I said you are now rocking with the enemy's public. Hey.